Billy Preston was known as the fifth Beatle, but his influence stretched far beyond any one band or era. As one of the most gifted keyboard players in music history, Preston worked alongside legends including the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Ray Charles, and countless others. His extraordinary talent allowed him to move effortlessly between gospel, soul, rock, and rhythm and blues. Yet despite his own success as a singer and songwriter, Billy Preston never forgot the voices that inspired him. Throughout his life, he spoke with admiration about artists whose singing abilities moved him, challenged him, and shaped his understanding of music. These were not simply performers he enjoyed listening to. They were singers whose voices represented excellence in his eyes. Here are the 5 singers Billy Preston admired most, and the reasons they earned such a special place in his heart. 1. Ray Charles, the ultimate musical teacher. If there was one singer who stood above all others in Billy Preston's life, it was Ray Charles. Long before Preston became famous, he was fortunate enough to work directly with Charles while still a teenager. That experience changed his life forever. To Billy, Ray Charles wasn't merely a great singer. He was a complete musician whose ability to blend gospel, blues, soul, jazz, and country music seemed almost supernatural. Preston often spoke about the emotional honesty that existed within every Ray Charles performance. Whether Charles was singing a heartbreaking ballad or an upbeat rhythm and blues number, his voice carried a level of conviction that few artists could match. Billy admired how Charles could transform a simple lyric into something deeply personal and emotionally devastating. Every note felt lived in and authentic. Beyond the voice itself, Preston respected Charles for his fearlessness. During a time when musical genres were often strictly separated, Ray Charles ignored boundaries and followed his instincts. Billy saw that courage firsthand while touring and recording with him. He learned that great singing wasn't about technical perfection alone. It was about communicating genuine emotion. Ray Charles taught him that music had the power to move people spiritually, and that lesson stayed with him throughout his career. Even after achieving fame, Billy continued referring to Charles as one of the greatest musical influences of his life. In many ways, Ray Charles became the standard by which Preston measured every singer who came after him. 2. Sam Cooke, the voice of pure elegance. For Billy Preston, few singers possessed the natural beauty of Sam Cooke. Cooke's voice seemed effortless, floating through melodies with a smoothness that many artists spend entire careers trying to achieve. Preston often admired how Cooke could sound both powerful and gentle at the same time, creating performances that felt intimate regardless of the size of the audience. What impressed Billy most was Cooke's ability to connect emotionally without ever sounding forced. Songs like A Change Is Gonna Come, Cupid, and You Send Me demonstrated a level of vocal control and emotional intelligence that Preston found remarkable. Cooke never appeared to be working hard, yet every note landed perfectly. Preston also appreciated Cooke's role in transforming popular music. Before many artists began writing and producing their own material, Cooke was already proving that singers could have creative control over their careers. Billy respected that independence because he understood how difficult it was for Black artists to maintain artistic freedom during that era. Beyond technique and influence, Preston simply loved the sound of Cooke's voice. To him, it represented warmth, sincerity, and humanity. Whenever discussions about great singers emerged, Sam Cooke's name was always near the top of Billy Preston's list. 3. Mahalia Jackson, the spiritual giant. Billy Preston's musical roots were deeply connected to gospel music, so it is no surprise that Mahalia Jackson occupied a special place among his favorite singers. Long before he became associated with rock stars and pop icons, Preston grew up surrounded by church music. Mahalia Jackson represented the very highest level of that tradition. To Billy, Jackson's voice was more than beautiful. It was spiritual. Her performances carried a sense of faith and emotional power that transcended entertainment. When she sang, audiences didn't simply hear music, they experienced something deeper. Preston often admired her ability to communicate conviction through every word. What made Jackson particularly important to Billy was her authenticity. She never chased trends or attempted to alter her style for commercial success. Instead, she remained true to her gospel roots and allowed her voice to speak for itself. 4. Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. When Billy Preston spoke about great singers, it was impossible to ignore Aretha Franklin. To him, Franklin possessed one of the most powerful and versatile voices ever recorded. Her ability to move effortlessly between gospel, soul, pop, and rhythm and blues left a lasting impression on musicians throughout the world. Preston admired Aretha's extraordinary vocal range and technical skill, but what truly separated her from other singers was the emotion she poured into every performance. Whether singing an anthem like Respect or a heartfelt ballad, Franklin brought a level of passion that made every song feel important. Billy often noted that Aretha never sounded manufactured or artificial. Her voice carried authenticity and authority. When she sang, listeners believed every word. That honesty was something Preston valued deeply, because he believed music should always feel genuine. Franklin's influence extended beyond singing as well. She was a pianist, songwriter, and musical director capable of shaping her own artistic vision. Billy respected artists who maintained control over their work, and Aretha embodied that independence. To him, she was not only one of the greatest female singers ever, but one of the greatest singers of any kind. 5. Stevie Wonder, the complete musical genius. Rounding out Billy Preston's list was Stevie Wonder, a musician he admired both professionally and personally. Wonder's voice, songwriting ability, and musical versatility made him one of the most respected artists of a generation. What impressed Billy most about Stevie was his ability to reinvent himself while remaining instantly recognizable. Whether performing soulful ballads, socially conscious anthems, or joyful pop songs, Wonder consistently delivered performances filled with emotion and creativity. Preston often praised Stevie's vocal expressiveness. Unlike singers who relied solely on technical ability, Wonder used his voice as an emotional instrument. Every phrase carried feeling, nuance, and personality. Billy believed that quality separated truly great singers from merely talented ones. Beyond the voice itself, Preston admired Wonder's complete command of music. As a singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, Stevie represented the ideal of artistic independence. He wasn't simply interpreting songs. He was creating entire musical worlds. For Billy Preston, Stevie Wonder embodied the future of soul music while remaining connected to its gospel roots.